Yes, I've done steroids, and yes, I am on steroids, monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician. Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread the message, to bring awareness.
The Liver King built his entire image on one claim. He said his body came from his lifestyle alone. No shortcuts, no drugs, just what he called ancestral living.
I'm making this video to apologize. Because I f***ed up. Because I'm embarrassed and ashamed. Because I lied.
Before that moment, he spent months telling people the opposite. He said his physique came from eating raw organs, training hard, and following a strict routine based on how early humans lived. That message reached millions of people, and many of them believed it.
Let me just tell you this. This hair has never seen shampoo. This body doesn't see soap ever in terms of grooming. I'm my primal, wild, free version of myself. For the record, it's Natty.
The word natty became part of his identity. It meant natural, no steroids, no performance-enhancing drugs. He repeated that claim in interviews, podcasts, and his own content. He was not just posting videos, he was building a business. Before the Liver King persona, Brian Johnson already ran supplement companies. One of them focused on organ-based products like beef liver. That business became the foundation of everything that followed. When his content started going viral in 2021, those products were already in place. His brand grew quickly because the message was simple. Eat like this, live like this, and your body will follow. His content made that idea look real. He showed himself eating raw meat, liver, and other organs. The reactions were strong. Some people were curious, others were uncomfortable. But everyone paid attention. That attention pushed his content further.
Let's go!
Dude turned those moments into a routine. Raw food, intense workouts, and a lifestyle that looked extreme compared to normal habits. The Liver King introduced what he called the 9 ancestral tenets. These included things like sleeping more, exercising regularly, spending time outdoors, and building relationships. On their own, these are basic health habits. Most of them are already known and widely accepted. The idea behind it sounded simple. Live like early humans and your body will follow. That was the foundation of what he called ancestral living. Eat raw organs, train hard, avoid modern habits, and return to what the body was supposedly built for. People associate natural with safety. If something is how humans lived before, it feels like it should work better than anything modern. The difference came in how they were presented. The king linked those habits directly to his own results. He said following them would optimize hormones, increase energy, and improve overall health to a level that matched what he was showing. People were not just hearing general advice, they were seeing a result and being told how to get there. When that didn't work for them, the explanation was already built in. If someone followed the habits and didn't look like him, the assumption shifted. It was not the system that failed, there was something missing from it. That's where his products came in. He presented his supplements as the missing piece. Instead of eating raw organs, people could take capsules that claimed to provide the same benefits. The message stayed simple. Take these, follow the routine, and results will follow. That is where the health risk begins. The audience was not just watching content, they were changing their behavior based on it. They were buying products, adjusting their diet, and expecting physical results that were being showed as achievable through that system. The problem is that the result itself was not coming from that system. The entire premise depended on one idea, that his body was built naturally through what he promoted. People started questioning that early. The criticism came from people in the fitness industry who understood what was realistically possible. His size, his conditioning, and his age did not match what most experts would consider natural. Even with that, he continued denying it.
I guarantee you nobody has done what I've done. Nobody lives the way that I live. I think at the end of the day, if you say he's got an ass full of steroids, invariably some people want to look like Liver King. They want to look like me. Will you ever look like me? You know, if you want to look like me, you've already lost.
That answer stayed the same every time the question came up. He repeated it in interviews, even when directly asked about steroids. Many viewers believed him. They followed his advice, bought his products, and trusted that the system he promoted was enough to produce the results he showed. That is where the gap formed. The message was clear and the result looked proven, but the foundation of that message was not true. For months, the questions stayed the same. People asked if it was natural. He denied it every time. That part of the story did not change until the evidence did. His downfall started with a detailed breakdown posted online that focused on his private communications. Those messages showed exactly what he had been doing behind the scenes. In one of the emails, he talked about using multiple performance-enhancing drugs, including human growth hormone. He also described the cost, around $11,000 per month. That detail changed everything. The result he was showing was no longer connected to the system he was selling. It was connected to a level of enhancement that his audience did not have access to, and in many cases, should not be using without medical supervision.
Yes, I've done steroids. And yes, I'm on steroids, monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician.
The issue was not just that he lied, it was what people started doing because of it. The diet itself carries real risks. Eating raw liver increases the chance of parasite infection. Studies show that people who consume raw cow liver have significantly higher infection rates compared to those who don't. These parasites do not stay in one place. They can move through the body and affect organs like the liver, lungs, and eyes. At the same time, raw meat carries bacteria. Salmonella and E. coli are commonly found in undercooked or raw meat, and they can lead to serious illness if consumed regularly. Health experts consistently warn against eating raw liver because of these risks, even in small amounts. Organ meats like liver are extremely high in vitamin A and iron. In controlled amounts, they're useful. In excess, they can build up in the body and lead to toxicity, affecting the liver and long-term health. The more extreme the intake, the higher the risk. The reaction was immediate. People who followed him started comparing what they were told to what was revealed. The gap became obvious. The advice they followed could not produce the same outcome. That is where the health risk becomes clear. People were not just misled about appearance, they were pushed toward behaviors that could affect their health. Supplements were presented as a safe alternative. Those products were marketed as a way to replace raw organ consumption. The claim was that they provided the same benefits in a controlled form. That gave people a sense of safety, even though the results they expected were still based on something else entirely. The trust behind that system depended on one thing: that he was doing exactly what he said. Once that broke, everything connected to it started losing credibility. He responded with an apology, and he admitted to using steroids.
I'm making this video to apologize. Because I up. Because I'm embarrassed and ashamed. Because I lied. And I misled a lot of people. Yes, I've done steroids. And yes, I am on steroids, monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician. Liver King, the public figure, was an experiment to spread the message, to bring awareness to the 4,000 people a day who kill themselves, the 80,000 people a day that try to kill themselves. Our people are hurting at record rates with depression, autoimmune, anxiety, infertility, low ambition in life. Our young men are hurting the most, feeling lost, weak, and submissive. So I made it my job to model, teach, and preach a simple, elegant solution called Ancestral Living.
The admission confirmed what people already saw in the leaked emails, but the explanation that followed did not address the main issue. He talked about personal struggles, self-esteem, and pressure. He said he saw himself as part of a larger problem affecting many people. But the issue was not that he used steroids. The issue was that he built a system around being natural and sold that idea to people who trusted it. Even PewDiePie called it out.
Liver King! Oh, so strong. Liver likes, that's what you are. Another fitness influencer lying. How about that? The Liver King! No! What? He's not natural. He's been exposed. I can't believe it.
That question ignored the scale of what happened. The audience followed his advice, believing it was enough. They adjusted their diet, their routines, and in some cases, their expectations about what their body could become. When the truth came out, that expectation collapsed. The backlash followed immediately. Critics pointed out that the message and the product were tied together. The physique created the trust. The trust drove the sales. Once the physique was no longer what it was claiming to be, the entire structure fell apart. And then, a lawsuit followed. A $25 million case was filed by customers who felt misled by his claims. The legal side focused on business practices, but the impact extended further. The health message itself had already spread, even after the exposure. The content did not fully stop. He made another statement shortly after.
I believe so deeply in this message and the 9 ancestral tenets and the ancestral living. To answer your question, yes.
Okay.
You would go natty.
Yes.
So are you going natty? That's it?
Yes.
He said he would go natural. That sounded like a reset, but the behavior that followed did not reflect that. After the apology, the direction did not change in a way that reduced the risk to the audience. The content continued, and the same structure stayed in place. The message still centered on his lifestyle, his routine, and the idea that following it could lead to similar results. The focus shifted toward getting attention back.
In the modern world, we like to have our bowl of cereal, don't we? This is a primal version of your bowl of cereal. I got my testicles in farm fresh milk from Liver King Ranch. The most feared warriors, the Maasai.
He leaned further into shock value, raw organs, unusual combinations of food, and routines that were pushed as part of a primal lifestyle. These were not presented as one-time stunts. They were shown as habits people could follow. That matters. When content is framed as a lifestyle, people do not treat it as entertainment. They treat it as guidance. He also started involving his family more directly.
Valentine's Day is about spending time with the people that you love most. And there's no people that I love most more than my liver queen. Eat your heart out.
His children appeared in videos eating the same types of food. The message stayed consistent. This was normal. This was how they lived. But people watching closely noticed something else. His physical condition was not changing the way it should if he had actually stopped using steroids. Observers pointed out that his size remained similar and his skin appeared unusually red, which is often linked to continued use of performance-enhancing drugs. That raised the same question again. Was he actually natural now? The answer came later.
So Moist Critical calls me out, says that I'm back on steroids, has a whole bunch of accusations. Here's what I have to say back. Moist Critical, you're late to the party. All you had to do was go to liverking.com. All of it's there. All of it.
He admitted that he had returned to using steroids. That admission did not come through a clear update to his audience. It was placed in a way that most viewers would not see unless they were actively looking for it. And the pattern stayed the same, a public claim followed by a quieter correction. At the same time, the business continued. His supplement company was still generating millions. The industry itself is massive, and it often depends on strong promises about health and performance. That creates a situation where the message continues reaching people even after the original claim has been proven false. Many of his customers were not following the full story. They saw the product, the branding, and the result it was tied to. The background details were not always visible to them. That keeps the risk in place. The advice is still out there, the products are still available, and the connection between the two still exists. His online presence changed. Engagement dropped, and fewer people paid attention. The same level of influence was not there anymore, but the behavior didn't fully stop.
Or anything and everything. Because Joe Rogan, we don't have to make videos to pretend anymore. All of this is happening. We're coming to you. I've challenged you man to man to a fight. Honorable. And we don't have to pretend or make any videos. The world is watching. They'll make the videos for us.
He started posting videos that focused on confrontation instead of health. The tone shifted, but the goal stayed the same. Get attention back. The situation escalated further and further.
Joe Rogan, I'm calling you out. My name's Liberty. Man to man. I'm picking a fight with you. Yeah. I have zero training in jiu-jitsu. You're a black belt. You should dismantle me. but I'm picking a fight with you. Your rules, whatever you want me to weigh, I'll weigh it. I weighed 190 this morning. I'll cut weight.
He traveled to Texas and continued making statements directed at Rogan. At one point, he brought a weapon with him, calling it a gift. That crossed into a different level of risk. He was arrested and charged after making those threats. By that point, the original message about health was no longer the main focus of his content, but the impact of that message was already established. The important part is how it was built. A system was presented as a solution, people following it expecting results, but the result itself was not coming from that system. That's where the real issue stays, because it's about how easily a health claim can spread when it's tied to a visible result. And once people see the result, they stop questioning the process. And that's where the risk begins. So subscribe or Liver King will break into your house and replace your milk with raw cow liver juice.